Hello, I'm James, welcome back to my channel. Good to see you again. I hope you've been doing well in the little bit of time that I've been off the internet. Haven't posted for a little over a week. Sorry about that, but I am back. So, today I am going to do something a little bit mental, considering I'm leaving for Australia this afternoon and I'm supposed to be out of the house in an hour. Just thought it would be a good idea to get all of my Anthurium out of the greenhouse, stick them on the table and show you all of them at once, because that's like not very much moving work at all, is it? No. So that's basically what I'm going to do today. I'm going to take you through all of the Anthurium that I have in this house. There are some more at my partner's, but we will do those another time. I haven't counted. I will count as we go, if I remember, and I will try and make it quite quick because there are a lot of Anthurium here. But obviously a lot of people have been doing the Anthurium Collection, just doing little Anthurium version of that. So for those of you who love Anthurium like me, this hopefully will be very exciting. Let me know down in the comments below what your favourite Anthurium is, what you're looking for at the moment. I'm looking for everything. If I don't have it here, I want it basically, particularly with the velvety. So let's get started. Right, you can already see two glorious leaves from where you are. Oh, ta-da! We have seen this one before. I will not start with that one. I'm going to start with this one because it's the first Anthurium that I got. Right here, we have my gorgeous a.clarinervium. First Anthurium I got, pretty much the first. It's not done a huge amount of growing, mainly because it has the least ideal growing conditions of all my Anthurium. It's the only one currently that's out of the greenhouse. So it's got slightly lower humidity, but it's doing okay with it, and that's why it's outside of the greenhouse, because the new leaf that it got has not ground at all. It could definitely do with more regular watering, but I'm slightly worried about root rot because it's also one of the only Anthurium I have in a plastic pot. There are a couple more, but one of the only ones. So I'm always a little bit cautious about over-watering in plastic pots because there's less breathability. Yeah, so this is number one, a.clarinervium, my slightly larger one, right over here. Sorry, I'm going to be doing a lot of this shuffling around to reach things. I have a slightly smaller one, which I grew from stem cutting. So this is just a tiny little a.clarinervium, which is doing its beautiful thing as well. It's such a striking plant, and regardless of how common it gets in the UK, I'm gonna love it because it's stunning, 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 stunning. Right, I will actually put these down on the floor just so I know that they're out of the way. Good. Moving on. So second huge leaf that you can see here. This is an a.magnificum. Obviously it has that same beautiful veinage in the leaves, dark, dark, dark leaf, and then the strong, bright, whitish silver veining. Interesting thing about magnificum, they've got square petioles, so this kind of stem that moves up to the leaf is called a petiole, and in the magnificum's case it's square, so it's got even sides. You probably can't see that, but if you do think you have a magnificum, it's just an easy way to tell. Yeah, it's lovely. The leaves obviously get huge. This guy is actually putting out a new leaf at the moment. I've recently moved all of these into a greenhouse, so some of them that were kind of stagnating growth-wise for a couple of months are now putting out growth really, really quickly, which is exciting. So by the time I get back from Australia, I think the greenhouse will be just completely full. So there we go, Anthurium magnificum, number 2. Yeah, we're going to count those 2 as 1. Number 3, just reaching for the ones that I have close to me. Right, so let's go for the royal family. We've got right here my little Anthurium veitchii, a.veitchii, I don't know what you want to say. It's the king Anthurium with those huge, beautiful, belt-like, textured leaves. It's very well known, I think, as far as Anthurium go. I will post a picture though, right here, just so you know what they look like when they're mature if you don't already. Very, very easy to care for. This was outside of any kind of humidity for a long time. I got it from the Tropical Plant Company. I don't know how much they're selling at the moment, but they were at one point doing quite a lot. I think they kind of moved aside. I don't know what's happened with them, but anyway, I got this from the Tropical Plant Company as 2 leaves, so these 2 yellowing ones at the bottom, and then there were 2 other ones, but they have died since then. So it's actually grown a fair bit since I got it, considering I have basically done nothing to keep it happy. I've just let it sit there in between my pillows, sort of getting the same conditions as they are. But I love it. Anthurium veitchii, I'm excited to see more and more of this kind of texture on the leaves as it grows. Yep. Number 4. No, number 3. I'm just going to lose track. Please count for me. So number 3. Yeah. Number 4, let's go on to our Queen Anthurium, a.warocqueanum. So I've got a few of these now, somehow, even though I thought I would never get one. This is the one that I saved from basically a dead stem with no roots, no shoots. It is the regular form, I believe, so it's slightly wider leaves, a slightly more sort of green colour than the next one I'm going to show you. As you can see, there's loads of leftover from where the leaves were when it was shipped. They died, but it's doing really, really well. Already a new leaf coming through there. Don't know if you can see that, just that little green shoot there, that is a new leaf coming through. So I'm very happy with it. It seems like it's a little more resilient than the other one I'm going to show you in a second. So number 4, Anthurium warocqueanum regular form, I think. We'll see as it gets more mature. Number 5, we have the dark form. So this guy, I got from the red plant shop a little while ago. I made a mistake with it in that I put it in slightly too bright light. So I think that was why this leaf is kind of stunted. Because I always look at the petioles, when they start coming through, I look at the thickness of the petiole, and if it's quite a thick petiole, I'm like, okay, that's going to be a big leaf. This petiole, this stem here, is much, much thicker than the other leaves that are here, but for some reason the leaf is a lot smaller, so I think it was just a combination of like shipping trauma and not being in perfect conditions to start with, but it is now putting out a new leaf, and I'm confident that in the greenhouse that leaf will grow very happily. So yeah, this is the dark form. As you can see, probably compared to the one before, the leaves are slightly darker, the venation is slightly more striking. That leaf is just ridiculously stunning. So when the new leaf comes through and is fully grown, I will probably post a picture on my Instagram because it's such a photogenic plant. Number 5. I need to be writing these down because I'm going to forget immediately. So those are my 2 full-grown warocqueanum, Queen Anthurium. I then also have 2 pots like this where I am actually germinating some warocqueanum seeds. So this is just a Tupperware with sphagnum, nice and moist inside, that I have under a grow light, and they will do their things, hopefully. They're already germinating. I'm not going to show you because you literally won't see anything. They're just like little green bubbles at the edge of the seeds. At some point I will do a video on harvesting and pollinating and germinating Anthurium seeds because it's something I love doing. I've just recently been harvesting pollen from one of my other Anthurium that you'll see in a moment. So those are just some seeds growing that I love, and it's just so exciting. I feel like it's the next step in my collection, just like enjoying the growth from seed to variable plant, which is exciting. So there's my warocqueanum, those 2 more mature ones, and then the little seeds. And then staying in the same vein, you've seen this one in the last video, I think it was my last video. This is the hybrid waroqueanum waterburyanum. It's hard to beat that. I don't know if I prefer it to the waroqueanum. We will see as they both get bigger, but it's beautiful. It's got happy little roots growing through there. I wasn't sure about this growing medium, but the roots seem happy in it, so I'm sort of hesitant to move it. I'm going to leave it in here until I get back, and then maybe just stick it in sphagnum. We'll see how they all do. And it's getting a new leaf there, which is going to be a big one. Again, judging by the width of the petiole, it's going to be a big one. So, humidity, perfect. You know what, I'm going to stop counting because I'm just confusing myself. For some reason, that is hard today. So this is the next plant, waroqueanum waterburyanum. Pride and joy. I love it, love it, love it, love it, love it. Moving on, let's take a little small one here. This guy I also got from the Tropical Plant Company, and it has struggled a little bit, although now that I look, it does actually have a new leaf coming. This is an Anthurium superbum. Yeah, I was going to say splendidum. It's definitely not splendidum. This is a superbum. If you've seen these before, you will know the appeal. If you have not, when they get big, it's like a bird's nest Anthurium, so it's very upright, big, long, textured, velvety leaves like this. They are slightly velvety, not as velvety as others. And I just have it in a substrate of pure sphagnum in this terracotta pot. That's quite a recent development. It's got very healthy roots, like just touching in there now, they're like thick, but leaves have not done as much as they could have. Still, I love it, and I'm excited to see more growth now that it's in a more humid environment, so that will be great. Next, done all of these, not done this. So I just mentioned that I was harvesting some pollen. You probably saw in my growth updates video that this Anthurium, the Anthurium pallidifolium, yeah, I was going to say pallidiflorum, that's definitely right. Pallidifolium has 2 inflorescences there, and I've been harvesting pollen over the last few days. They are both producing pollen at the same time, so there's no chance that I can cross-pollinate, which is not really great anyway, because it's the same plant. But yeah, I'm pretty sure it's over now. Yeah, pollen has kind of stopped being produced, but what I did with it is I just stuck it in an envelope, stuck it in the freezer, and I'm going to save it for when I have an inflorescence on one of my other little, well, I only have one other strap leaf here, but I will see what I can do with it at some point. So yeah, I love this guy. You've seen him before. Definitely one of my favorites. Why am I struggling today? Pallidiflorium. Yeah, there we go. Yay! Big strap leaf, big velvety beauty. And again, also loving the new humidity. There's a new leaf shoot coming through there. We will see what happens. I'm very excited to be away for 2 weeks and come back to see what growth is happening. Slightly nervous that everything's going to die, but I'm pretty sure with the setup that I've got that it won't. Right, you've seen this as well in the last video that I did. This is my Anthurium pendulifolium. Am I getting this wrong? Yes. So, this is the problem when I just like throw things out there. The one I showed you before is pallidiflorum, and this is pendulifolium. There we go. Okay, sorry about that. Some of you are probably screaming at your screens. Right, this is the pendulifolium hanging leaf, basically, and it's just wonderful. It had scale, but I have, as far as I can tell, annihilated them, which I'm very happy about. Just absolutely blitzed them with everything that I had. And it's doing okay. I'm a little bit nervous. I'm keeping it in here while I'm away, but I'm a little bit nervous that it's keeping the sphagnum too wet, so we will see. Fingers crossed. It has healthy roots at the moment, and I will see what they're like when I get back. I just don't want to disturb it too much in case something happens while I'm away and I can't, like, help it because I'm not here. Right. So that is the beautiful another strap leaf. Let's move on from that. I only have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 to go. So, here, Anthurium metallicum, you've seen this before. I will take it out because the roots are slightly more happy, and I will show you how well it's doing. It had nothing, and now it has 2 beautiful crunchy roots growing out from the stem there, which is lovely. It's such a lovely, like a beautifully textured leaf, and I'm so happy that it's doing well because it was definitely one of the first interesting Anthurium that I tried to get hold of, and it took a while to get hold of them. Seem to be all over the place now, but when I was looking, it was a little bit hard. I will sort that in a minute. So that's Anthurium metallicum. Love. Hopefully he'll be okay. That little isolation humidity technique is working really well for him, so that's nice. Another one who's isolated at the moment. This is a slightly different Anthurium in that it's more like a crawling Anthurium. I don't really know, but this is the Anthurium radicans. It's basically just a cutting at the moment. It has roots, but it's not doing super well. That is just the single textured bulate leaf of the Anthurium radicans. And yeah, I have it in this, and I have it in this, and I do not have it in the greenhouse at the moment, but once it's a little bit more established, I will take it out of this Ziploc and stick it in the greenhouse, and give it a lovely humid time. So that's Anthurium radicans. Love. Who's next? Let's go for this guy. Done quite a lot of good growing. This is my Anthurium corrugatum. So it arrived with this leaf, which was beautiful. It then got this leaf, which was growing while it was shipped, so I think it's slightly stunted. And then it's now got this new one coming, and I'm pretty confident that this one is going to get big because it's still very, very soft. There's plenty of growth still in there. And if I bring it close, you can see that, just that amazing texture in the leaves. There's nothing else like that. It's super, super cool. There's nothing else to say about that. It's just beautiful. Look at that. Bubbles, ripples, bumps, gorgeous. Anthurium corrugatum, very easy. I haven't had an issue with this guy at all. Even when it takes quite low light as well. I had it on a shelf in low light, and yeah, it's doing good. Doing good. Now it's in the greenhouse, of course. It's just going to explode with growth. This guy has struggled a little bit. This is my Anthurium forgetii. Yeah, ignore the sphagnum. It's just to try and stimulate a little more root growth around the stem. It had a growth shoot which died. I don't really know why. Yeah, nothing really has happened since then. So I'm hoping that with this new humidity setup that I've got, that it will start putting out more leaves. That is beautiful. It's probably one of my favourite because it's just slightly different, and I love a plant that has just something slightly different about it. Yeah, it's the white stripes variety. I don't know if that's an official thing, but I definitely know that there are some forgetii that have much less obvious venation. It's kind of just a tracery on the leaf, and this is much more silver. It's got that sort of crystalline and a.magnificum shimmer to it. Speaking of, I do have Anthurium crystallinum seedlings, but I do not have them here, so you will not see them today, sadly. But I will do another video on those at some point, because they are ones that I've grown from seed, which is super exciting. Right, last two. Is that right? Already? I mean, already, there are loads of them that I've shown you. Right, last two. This is another cool petioled plant, meaning that it has funky little stems going up to the leaves. They're not stems, but you know. This is the Anthurium villenaorum, and it is just about settling into a more mature leaf form. When I got it, it had lots of these with no venation, just kind of velvety texture. It grew some stunted ones for some reason. I don't know what I was doing wrong. It's always been in quite high humidity, and now finally it's putting out these big, chunky, juicy leaves. And the petioles are triangles, which is exciting. So they only have 3 edges, and they are just delightfully strange. And again, it plays into that whole, I'm a beautiful Anthurium, but I have something fancy about me, and I just really appreciate that. So, villenaorum, again in terracotta, again in sphagnum, just a messy old pot up, but it appreciates it somehow. And yeah, it's doing very, very well. It actually has 4 growth points, so at some point when it's a little bit bigger, I may separate it and try and grow a couple of different plants. But yeah, for now, she's a happy plant. Yes. Entity. Last but not least, no one has seen this plant yet, unless you follow me on Instagram, in which case you definitely have seen it, but I have not shown it on this channel yet. This last one is an Anthurium that I've been wanting for such a long time. It has been so evasive for some reason, and then recently everyone is selling them, which I'm not complaining about, but they're very expensive. So I wasn't buying one because they were like selling for £200 or more online, and I was just like, I do not want to spend that much money on a plant that I may well kill. And then I found one which was a good price, and I decided to get it, and I'm so happy with it. This is my Anthurium regale. I don't think there's anything else like it. In this slightly younger form, it looks very similar to the untrained eye. That sounds so patronizing. But it looks very similar to the a.clarinervium, or even like the a.magnificum crystallinum, because it has that same veining and that same, get off, dark leaf. But when they get older, oh, they are just the most dreamy plants ever. They look like huge shields with like really, really intense veins, and like the contrast is just incredible. If you've not seen one before, Google, Instagram, look for Anthurium regale. They are stunning. This is absolutely, at the moment, I mean, there's no favourite. When I look around at them, I just love them all, but love. Hi. Beautiful little plant. So yeah, I am now surrounded by 1 million pots that I now need to get back into my greenhouse. But I hope you enjoyed that. I'm just going to hold this regale here so you can appreciate until we finished. I know this is a long video, and I'm sorry about that, but please, I hope you watched it. And if you got this far, thank you for watching. Subscribe to my channel if you want to see more of these things. Go and follow me on my Instagram, slugplants, if you want to see some updates on these plants. I will likely be slightly inactive over the next week or so, but please do not let that stop you. I will see you in a couple of weeks. And yeah, farewell. Bye-bye. Have a lovely day.